Okay, finally Exxaro. Now remember, this one has coal assets where it exports coal as well as selling coal to Eskom, but it also has a big fat 26% interest in the Sishen Iron Ore company, which is the mine which belongs to Kumba. So you can tell that's going to have done well with the iron ore price rebounding. They also have some interesting minerals and other assets. We'll talk about that in a minute with the partial sale of Tronox. 42.1 billion rands worth of market cap. Price earnings ratio 7.14, dividend yield 5.29. Let's go straight to the share chart. It's got the same sort of pattern. Looked terrible, absolutely terrible at the end of 2015, but has since had a miraculous bounce. So I don't know, it's the stock to own, but of course it was not the stock to own from 2013 to 2016, and now it has really been a star performer. The big clip up at the end there is that they are selling off this US listed Tronox, which they had like 40% of.
Yes.
That's because they owned the old Richards Bay Minerals business, which makes titanium stuff and so on. They sold that into Tronox, but now they're offloading that, doing an accelerated book build, which appears to be going well.
Yep. So, you know, they own, as you say, Sishen Iron Ore, and Sishen basically was well known for the little bit of rancor they had with Kumba, with ArcelorMittal, you know, the pricing issue. But if you look in terms of comparing to the other companies we just talked about, the share price is a little bit more choppier. It's more volatile than the others, you know, because there's lots of, you know, up and down.
Which some people like. I mean, some people saying, look, I don't want the lazy boy, which gives you a nice rise and a smooth ride like BHP Billiton. I want something which is going to be explosive when the
it
timing
allows
is right.
you, they say obviously, you know, fortune favors the brave. So so when you're up and down, it allows you to enter again, possibly to exit as well. So the dividend yield is very good, 5%, and I think from a PE relative perspective, also 7 times PE ratio, it looks attractive. But my view.
What about the coal assets, though? Because, you know, coal is a non-favored commodity because of its carbon emissions related to power generation. But these guys have got collieries, like the one up supplying the new Medupi power station, which is going to be there for 50 years.
I was going to say that. So until basically whether the nuclear deal goes ahead for SA or not, coal is going to be there for a very long time.
The nuclear deal is definitely impossible. How can Eskom even think of raising hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars if the CEO is on suspension and the CFO is being arrested?
There's just too much news there. But certainly, I think Eskom has been in the news for the wrong reason, which is really related to coal, you know, to Geta and all these things. Remember, Glencore was forced to sell some of the assets to the Gupta-linked companies for that. So the coal is not really a good kind of commodity now. But unfortunately,
it still generates a solid cash flow.
100%, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, you talked about 50 years. That's half a century. So if you were to do any projections that there's no way in the next 5 years or so you're going to replace the fossil energy, you know, to cleaner energy, you're still going to
rely heavily on it. So you're assuming that the outlook for Exxaro remains positive. Yes, it's possible that some of the export coal markets could be a little bit affected, but as far as our local producers, linked as they are to the local power stations, they will still be running their cost plus contracts that they have in place.
They've done a few things, you know, solve the DRC issue. Now they're getting a little bit of cash from the Tronox partial sale of it. Now they might want to retain some few cents to shareholders, reduce debt on their balance sheet. So possibly based on that and the pricing they might get from Eskom, certainly it gives you certainty in terms of the supply and what they might produce.
And you know, they've cleaned house, so now the cash flows are stronger, the dividend outlook looks great,
better,
and as it happens, things just look a whole lot sunnier than they did before.
Certainly.
Hot now, though?
I'm going to remain hot on momentum perspective. I wanted to get rid of it at 135, but after yesterday, I decided that I'll keep holding for a little bit longer.
See how it goes. Okay, so you're going to remain hot on this.